All right, what's up, good people? It's your boys, the Beards of War, back again. Got myself, the Chocolate Avenger, Thick Nick Fury, FBR for President, Fat Broken Rambo, aka the Digital Media Demigod. Behind the scenes, we had the Conductor of Chaos, Captain Jack, and out there just protecting the world, one computer screen at a time. The artist and assassin, Scorched Earth, who can't be with us today, but we're gonna do it anyway. We got 28 years later, the Bone Temple. So there are spoilers ahead if you have not yet seen this movie. This is, what would you call it? The fifth installment overall of the 28 Days Later franchise, the
Yep.
second of this, the second trilogy of the, second coming, I guess, if you can call it that. Um, this one is more of a story tell. Rambo and I went to the theaters to watch this at our AMC theater in Annapolis, and this is like I said, it's one of the, you're going to get more of a storyline than some actual, maybe like real action or attacks from the infected, that kind of thing. But we're going to get into it, man. Like I said, spoilers ahead. So if you guys have not seen it yet, check it out. Come back. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. All right, Rambo. Where do we want to start with this, man?
Yeah, man. Sorry guys, we're having a zoom in on my mustache
Yeah.
for some reason.
No.
Anyways, hey, so we're rolling with it tonight. So 28 years later, The Bone Temple, directed by Nia DaCosta, is really like um almost 2 hours of just pure acting at its finest. There's not a lot of action, just like Nick said. But what they do is they develop the story. Honestly, they developed it to the point where I don't know where the third one's gonna go. So we're gonna circle back around to that question at the end, but so it kind of kicks right back off where we left Spike and the gang of Jimmys, headed by what is it, Sir
Jimmy
McChrystal,
Crystal. Yeah.
Jimmy Crystal,
Played
right?
by Jack O'Connell.
Who
Yeah.
does an incredible job, man. Like he is menacing in every scene he is in, and conniving and sniveling, and just all around a villain that you love to hate, man. It's almost like if Joffrey had grown up in the zombie apocalypse, and that's basically
Right.
what we're left with, man. So he basically he holds tryouts, like Joker did in Dark Knight. So basically, Jimmy has this whole mantra that basically the other Jimmys of the group are his fingers, and he is the action arm of Satan. He refers to Satan as Old Nick quite a bit in times, and it's all just a giant con. He's using it to basically manipulate these kids to do whatever nefarious, evil shit that he wants to do across the countryside in the United Kingdom during this vulnerable time for many folks. So Spike has tryouts. Basically, he pits one of his. He refers to them as fingers, the other Jimmys, fingers of the fist of Satan. Basically, is what he alludes to throughout the movie. So one of his fingers, his strongest and oldest, goes up against Spike. And they taunt him and they taunt him, and basically they have the upper hand, and then the Jimmy that is the opposition basically makes one bad one bad move and takes a knife right to the thigh, and in complete dumbass fashion pulls the knife out and realizes his femoral artery's been hit, and he just starts bleeding out over this old pool, and he's asking for help. At this point, he is no longer like the badass villain that he wants to portray himself to be. Now he's just a weak, dying human being that just is seeking out help from this fucked up family that he belongs to, and they're just laughing in his face as he bleeds out on the floor. And Spike has tossed his mullet wig, and now he is officially one of the Jimmies. And then it just progresses through various iterations of back and forth between Ray Fiennes' character, Ian, the doctor,
Yep.
and his interactions with, if you guys remember, the Behemoth Alpha from the original, who
Samson.
definitely left a mark on cinema, Samson, and how so you have these two opposite kind of situation or opposite storylines, right? Obviously Jimmy and his band of Adidas fans are the villains or the evil side of this the aftermath of the infected rage. And then you have Dr. Ian, who is desperately trying to find humanity again, even amongst the infected, and he honestly builds this relationship with Samson over multiple doses of morphine, and starts to realize that maybe there's a chance he can save him, and maybe reverse the psychosis of the infected virus, or the infection, the
Right.
rage virus. There we go. So yeah,
Yeah.
that pretty
Yeah, I think you pretty much covered it, man. So
that's the whole
yeah,
movie right there.
right. that's the whole movie. So to kind of go back to the Jimmies, the Jimmies, the Satanists, if you will. These guys are kind of like just this group, and you really don't know how they all came to be, but you kind of get the impression that the Jimmy Prime or Jimmy Crystal kind of like just kind of picked them up over the course of time and whatever their situations were, and kind of how you would grow a gang or a family. Like a
Yeah.
lot of times it's by oppression, right? Or
Yep.
it's not by because they want to be there, it's because they're kind of forced to be there. They don't have anywhere else to go, that kind of thing. So Spike kind of, like I say, gets involved with this group. And we don't really get an explanation for why the blonde wigs. I guess that's really not important at this point, but I do love the fact that he wore a tiara. I mean, I thought that was gangster. You know what I mean? Dude just puts on his little, costume jewelry tiara, and he's just Jimmy, and they all listen to him, and it's like I said, they're very sadistic, right? So we got the group that they met in the barn, and this is probably one of the most gruesome
Oh man,
torture scenes I think
it
I've
truly
seen
was.
recently, right? I'm
Yeah,
like, dude,
I think
ouch.
this knocked Saw right out of the picture. So if you guys are like squeamish or anything, like this movie's got some rough spots, man. That scene where the Jimmies kind of descend on this family. You have a pregnant woman, like another older man. He gets attacked by the infected. He gets killed. So they're making a run back to their barn
Barn,
fortress.
yeah,
And the
fortress, yeah.
Jimmies are already there and they've got the drop on them. So obviously the Jimmies make their move and they take everybody hostage. And he goes into his spiel again, man, like old Nick needs charity and blah, blah, blah. So I don't know that Jimmy Crystal actually believes half the shit he's spouting, but it's just a giant psyop, man. And all he's doing is just manipulating the fuck out of these kids to basically do his bidding. And
Mm.
he's been holding on to a pretty tight game until I don't even know what to call her. Like Jimmy Etta, like he's got weird names for the females of the group, and I can't remember what her name is specifically. But there's one that Spike befriends,
Jimmy
and
Ink.
Jimmy Inc. And she's
Yeah.
like hardcore badass, man. Like she walks up to an infected guy that's charging against him and like combat rolls and flips and cuts his throat and combat rolls back out of it and just keeps walking about her day like nothing happened. Like she's just a bad motherfucker. And so Spike kind of like her and Spike bond a little bit, and then she starts to realize that maybe Jimmy isn't exactly the truth teller that he claims to be, especially after she catches a sight of the Bone Temple. Like when she's sent on an op to go out after the barnyard incident, she sees Dr. Ian there at the Bone Temple doing his thing, working with Samson, and she thinks it's the representation of Old Nick. She thinks it's Satan. Because the Bone Temple does not give off that Martha Stewart vibe. So, and she goes back. She's like, "Hey, I found old Nick. He's a real thing." And Jimmy like realizes his jig is up, man. He's got to kind of like shit or get off the pot with this character. But before that all transpires, Spike finds himself in kind of a jam because those hostages fight back. And it's pretty graphic, man, because he like skins a couple of them, and
Yeah.
then he has another session of tryouts with the guy that ran in with the pregnant woman. And man, so she runs off and gets clear of the group, but she doubles back and comes back in the barn and sees what's the atrocities that are executed on these fucking poor people. And she gets in the fight, man. She swings a hook just before her friend, I don't know, her boyfriend, husband, whatever, is about to get I don't know, neutered for lack of a better
Yeah.
term.
Yeah.
She eats a hook to the back of the skull, man, and it's pretty damn brutal. And I thought he was going to go down without a fight, and he takes a can of propane and he weaponizes the shit out of that thing.
Blowtorch.
Oh
Makeshift
man,
blowtorch in a barn.
B.A.
Tender.
Baracus would have
Oof.
been proud.
Yeah, man. So and then so the pregnant woman ends up getting away.
Yep,
And as she's getting away, you have Spike following her. He's like, "Take me with you." And for a minute, you're like, "Okay, wow, maybe she sees that he's not really one of them, and she'll take him out there with her." And she's like, "Nope," punches him in the gut. Get out of here! Like I don't trust you. And
yep,
she runs off on her own, which I can't blame her. I really, you
dude,
can't trust anyone for
smartest person in a horror movie ever.
there you go, right?
You know what?
Um,
Yeah, the kid was mixed up with the wrong crowd. Don't give a shit. Bonk, and I'm
we're
running.
judged by the company you keep. Remember that.
Yep,
All right. All right. So now we're gonna shift the story over to Dr. Ian and Alpha Samson. Right.
yep,
So as we've seen from the previous movie, he does have some form of control over Samson by use of these blow darts and kind of doping him up so where he's not overly aggressive, and he does have contact with him. And basically in this movie, it kind of expands on that to where he actually gets to the point of he figured out how to treat the infection, necessarily not necessarily reverse the infection, but the psychosis that goes along with it. So he kind of
Yeah.
realized like, wow, these guys don't really like what is it that they're seeing, and that's where he kind of got to the point of if I can reverse that, I might be able to bring them back. So he does this experiment with Samson, and you get to see like a background of Samson's how he came to be, so to
Yeah, he's
speak.
starting to remember.
Right. So he's on a train, like with his family, like he's had his whole lifestyle. And you hear him actually say, like moon. That was the first word he
Yep.
said. So like, oh, that is like, oh man, I'm making a breakthrough. And then he goes back to this train that causes the flashback. And he said something like she asked him, "Oh, where's your ticket?" in the flashback. And the current Samuel says, "I don't have a ticket." And then all the other infected kind of notice, like, wait a minute, he's not
Yeah.
one of us. So then they attack him. So I'm like, oh man, is he gonna get like reinfected because he's essentially kind of coming out of it? And Samson handled business. He's still, yeah, I'm still the alpha, bro. He like, I
Yeah, he
might not
does.
have the psychosis, but I am still that dude, right? So he like trashes them all, comes back, to the bone temple where Dr. Ian is. But I think that's going to be the big story arc, I believe, leading into three is kind of the fact that there is hope to bring these people back in some fashion. Um, Obviously, Jimmy Crystal has seen Dr. Ian out there, had to kind of say, oh, yeah, I went and spoke to him. Only I can speak to him. You guys can't speak to him because he has to let them believe that that's Satan.
Yep.
And Dr. Ian played the part, man. He was
Oh,
all
dude.
in.
That Iron
Cue the
Maiden's
Iron Maiden.
oh my God, dude. It was so fantastic. And dude, when he puts on the entire burn suit and he starts like dancing with like, I don't know, the dumbbell or what is it,
Yeah,
like the bench press
dumbbell.
with
Yeah,
like
exactly.
fling, like, and he drugs him too because
Ashes.
he hits him with all that powder and everything like that. And like he's all in. He's like, hey man, if I act this up good enough, then this guy's gonna fuck off and he's gonna leave me alone and then go about their business. And it's at the very last minute when he's given like the instructions that Jimmy's fed to him to basically pass on to his apostles, for lack of a better term, on what they should be doing going forth, extending the fingers into multiple hands, multiple fists, so on and so forth, like building an army of Satanists that will basically go out and just
No
destroy
kidding.
humanity.
Right.
And then he sees Spike through the mask, and the whole fucking situation changes.
Yeah,
And
yeah, he recognized Spike. Yeah.
it's just great to see Jack O'Connell in like this manipulative role, like after seeing Sinners versus here, like it's just great because he needs this moment to happen. He's very careful about how he articulates it to those kids. He's like, "Hey, only I can talk to him." Be like, "Yeah, he's controlling the scene, controlling
Mhm.
the messaging that's going to come back to his apostles, so they can go out and do evil shit." And it's really like I think it's really well done, very well written, and the acting is just phenomenal. And then all of a sudden, was it George, not Jimmy Etta, or what's the Spike's buddy?
His
Jim,
buddy, Jimmy,
Jimmy
Jimmy,
Inc.
Jimmy Ink. Yeah.
Jimmy, yeah, so Jimmy Inc. Um, basically like Ray finds turns the tables and he's like, I have one last thing for you. And he basically assesses that he can use religion against him and says like just like God had to sacrifice his one son Jesus to be crucified, I so expect the same sacrifice. And then you can start seeing that Jimmy's just about to get backed into a corner of like true believers versus like, hey man, I'm just here for the party favors. And suddenly his ass is upside down on a crucifix and it's not looking so well for him. Yeah. And the irony is he gets stabbed right in the same wound pattern that Jesus had when he was crucified. So there's a lot of symbolism here
Right.
um, about how Satan works and how God works and stuff like that. And it's very interesting to see like the lines in the sand. Like you have the for lack of a better term, the God side, the good side, and then you have Jimmy and this little Satanistic crew that have been dwindling left, right, and center because nobody likes propane. But yeah, man, he gets shanked, and then Ian gets stabbed, unfortunately, in the stomach. And yeah, they crucify old Jimmy Crystal. But
Yeah.
like, as you said though, man, and I said walking out of the theater, I'm like, well, I guess that's it for him. And he's like, we didn't see the body.
Yeah. If you
And
don't
you're
see
not
a body,
wrong,
you don't have a death, man. We got a little jump scare at the end where one of the infected kind of jumps out and supposedly kills Jimmy Crystal, but we
but
don't
we don't
see it.
know that. And
So
yeah, and so out of the two movies that we've seen so far, we've not yet see, aside from Samson, we haven't seen another infected come to the Bone Temple. So that would be kind of unique.
right, right. And this movie, like I said, and it could be due to the time frame, right? But there's a lot less infected, at least
Yes.
from what we've seen in this particular instance. I mean, they're probably in the cities and all that stuff, but where they are, there's not a whole lot. So survival seems to be a little bit easier, I guess. Because like I said, you got the Jimmys kind of walking around, not really any weapons or armored up or anything, and people are just kind of handling them as they come. Kind of like how Walking Dead was toward the end. Like every walker's slow. None of them can do much
Yeah, they're
damage.
definitely like a background character in this. So
Right,
I don't
right,
know. It's gonna be
exactly.
interesting. Well, you want to talk about the big ending?
Yeah, man. Let's get to it. So we go to a like a area out near the water, out in the in the
Countryside.
wilderness, I guess you could say. And we see a little girl sitting at a table. Looks to be of biracial origin. And
Mm-hmm.
then we see him, Jim,
Yep.
Cillian Murphy's character from the original 28 Days Later, looking nice and fresh, and he's teaching this girl what some English from out of the book. So really had they seem to have a good situation going there. Um,
Yeah, chickens and farm animals and all and plenty of
a
security,
life,
isolation. They're pretty
yeah.
solid.
Yeah, yeah. And then but she hears the commotion and then she sees Spike and Jimmy Ink kind of running off in the background and asking her father, should we help them? And he grabs his gun and they go out to help. So that's pretty much I think the gist of where it leaves off. So that leads us probably into the third and final installment. But the one thing I was kind of curious of, and I was speaking on Rainbow about this, is we don't see the black woman from the original. I forget her
Naomi Harris.
name. Yeah, Naomi Harris. We don't see her character. So I'm like, is Selena still around? Because remember from the original, she survived as well as the young girl, Hannah.
Yeah, it's the alternate ending where Jim survives. So
Okay,
that's
all right.
that's now canon.
Okay, so it'll be interesting to see how many of the original cast that we actually end up seeing here. Um, I'm interested to see. Like, we also have those the characters from like episode two. And with the child, what is it, the daughter and the son that survived from the mom that was partially affected. So I mean, who knows how far back we reach and how many people actually show up in the final installment, but to see
Yeah,
Jim was really good.
yeah. And that music at the end. Whew.
Yeah, that's like one of those. Now it's one of those themes. When you hear it, you know exactly what it refers to. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the final installment. I think this was a good bridge. And the third one should be balls to the wall, man. Like
Yeah, I'm
this
just
should be
curious to
all
see who the
action.
villain's going to be. Like,
Again,
if Jimmy is really gone, who do we got left?
right.
So
And,
I think he's
and
going to have to
other
make
than
a
the
comeback.
affected. Yeah, I think
Hmm.
it's Jimmy's gonna come back with a vengeance. And and obviously we're probably gonna see more of the infected. More of that, big wave of the final battle, so to speak. Because other than that, you really don't have a villain.
You don't know.
And it's too late to develop a new one, right? So we've already lost Dr. Ian. Um, I don't know what role Samson's going to play in the final one, but he's not really a villain, so he might be more of a protagonist in the third film. But we'll see. I'm willing to accept that he's going to be on the side of Jim or whatever, and hopefully we just get a good showing. We get an action-packed final send-off for 28 days later, and I'm here for it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I'm excited to see where they go with it. The ending got me pumped. Honestly, once I started hearing what is the song called? In the heart in a heartbeat or in the house. I think it's in the house actually. When I
Hmm.
heard that start playing, man, I just started like banging along with the air drums. It was just awesome to hear it because that was such a pivotal piece of music for the first movie, and actually
Right.
they utilized it in the second. So very excited to see where they go. I know that they greenlit the third and final piece. I know they're still working out negotiations with Cillian Murphy for his return for the whole film. Um, I'm just kind of curious how long it's going to take us to get it, because they filmed this back to back with the original 28 years later. So it was only a 6 month release, so that wasn't a heavy lift. But I'm glad to hear they got the third one approved because, man, don't leave us hanging.
Oh yeah, that would be the worst possible thing to do is leave us
Oh
hanging with
God,
that
yeah,
that ending. Yeah,
yeah.
no. Well, all right. So that's our review of Bone Temple 28 years later. We do have a couple of recommendations for the good people out there. I'm gonna go ahead and go first, Rambo, because this I kind of just snatched this one out of the air.
Do it,
Um,
man.
So lately we've been trying to catch up on a lot of films, a lot of shows, things like that. Like as you know, we're watching Fallout. We'll be doing that Thursday. Stay tuned. Um, so I'm gonna go with, and the only reason I picked this movie because there is a part two that is, I think, due out in theater or out in theaters. Greenland 2 out already?
Yeah, Greenland 2, I
Okay,
think is out.
so
Yeah.
I had to watch the first one, right? And not primarily just because there's the two, but because Marina Baccarin is in it, and that's really all I needed. So basically, what the original Greenland is about is there's basically an imminent asteroid attack, Q Armageddon Part Two, whatever, and it's set to destroy areas on the Earth, and certain people are getting notifications that they've been cleared to go to the bunkers to kind of be
Yeah.
rescued as part of humanity. So Gerard Butler and his family, for some reason, he doesn't even know, other than he's an architect, that he got accepted. And of course, you sever friendships right away. Like, hey, take us with you. No, he's like, no, absolutely not. Not even playing with it, bro. I'm not taking nobody. And then what I always think is funny is when they say I'm not making any exceptions, then they have to find people to make exceptions for them along the way, right? So it's like the same person you were like absolutely not. You had to have someone take a chance on you, and that's primarily what the movie is about. They get to the base where they're supposed to get to the plane, and then they find out that the son has asthma, so he's not cleared because he has a sickness and illness. And then they get separated. He leaves his medicine in the car, and then mom and the kid end up going this way, and dad goes that way. So this whole thing of, come on, guys, can we just get on a plane? Like, who has the boarding passes? And it's just one of those things that just goes from bad to worse. Somehow they find some people flying a plane, and they jump on a plane and end up right where they're supposed to be because why govern the airspace for an important place like this? Um, and they end up getting into the bunker and they survive the quote unquote initial attack of the asteroids. But as we know in Greenland 2, I think it's set like 5 years or something in the future. So now it's kind of like, how was life after that world ender, right? After the attack and of destroying basically all of humanity and civilization. So I'm curious to see how two is. I haven't heard much about it as far as how it's been accepted, but it's it's a decent action film. It's kind of like what you expect from like one of those world ender like 2002 or whatever it was, and Armageddon and Earthquake and San Andreas, all that type stuff. It's all of that. But like I said, it's a decent watch. It was okay. Hopefully Greenland 2 will be a little bit better, but I'll probably check it. I might wait for streaming. I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's gonna be a theater movie for me. But
Yeah, probably not for me either.
yeah, that's my
I'm not,
recommendation, man.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't remember much about it. I just remember it being slow. Like,
Yeah, it wasn't like and that's really what it is just trying to get to the bunker. So we don't really get a
yeah,
whole lot of, other than a couple of, asteroids hitting and explosions out there and stuff like that. But yeah,
I would like to
yeah,
have seen a Geostorm too. I mean, if we're making terrible like end of the world movies, I'm like
yeah,
that one's like,
another
give me
geostorm.
Moonfall too, man. Something I don't take seriously in the slightest bit and love.
That's why you gotta love them. You gotta suspend reality.
I
All
do for
right.
Moonfall all the time. I love that film. All right, guys. So like my pick of the week is a little bit older. This is 1999. End of Days, Arnold Schwarzenegger. So if you guys haven't seen it, like I said, it came out in 99, just as the Y2K craze or concern was about to happen. If you guys didn't live through that, well, what can I say? We all lost our minds for wondering if some fucking computer clock was going to
How
destroy
am I
the
gonna write
world.
my checks now?
Yeah. Anyways, so basically, what ends up happening is the when New Year of Millennia was going to happen, the Antichrist was going to come and rule the earth, blah blah blah, and so you have like young Robin Tooney from like she was the hotness back in the day, man. She did like The Craft and a bunch of other movies like Nev Campbell and all those. They all kind of like blew up during like the late '90s, early 2000s. She is like the chosen one that she is going to engage in a relationship with Satan and bring around the birth of the Antichrist. And you know who's not going to stand for that shit? Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger. That's
That's
right.
right, baby.
The man that took on that was a commando that took on the Predator and it was a Terminator a bunch of times, probably one too many. Um, he comes out to fight fucking Satan, man. Like there's nothing more American than that. And yes, I understand there's a lot of hypocrisy in that statement. That's okay. It it's not your typical Arnold Schwarzenegger film. Don't get me wrong. Peter Hyams directed this. He did a fantastic job. Like Rod Steiger's in it. Gabriel Byrne does an outstanding job as Satan. Like he's the body that Satan possesses. He's just got some fantastic lines and scenes in that film. And I don't want to ruin it because pretty much everything is just awesome. Um, it's definitely, I think it was Schwarzenegger's like last film before he took on being governor of California. And this movie hit close home to me for reasons I'm not going to get into. But like I was in a really rough place and I saw this movie and there's a lot of lines that Schwarzenegger uses because he's down and out, man. And there's just some absolute gems in there that he fires off. Probably, I think he probably took his acting a lot more seriously in this film because his character has some fucking depth. Um, Unlike, insert action guy into this film, like he's got some juice in this film and he has to portray himself in like, vulnerable moments. He loses his wife and his daughter in the very beginning of the film. Um, it's just awesome to see his portrayal in this film. I love it, man. Most people probably just consider it a guilty pleasure, but like I think it really showed that Schwarzenegger actually has some acting chops. And for its subject matter, I thought they did a pretty good job with it. So, I mean,
Agreed.
it's a heavy lift to take an action guy and be like, hey, we're going to make this movie set in New York City, the turn of the millennium. You're a disgraced ex cop who's lost his family. Oh, and you're going to fight Satan. So, um, okay, cool. I mean, that sounds neat. Let's do it.
Dude, I'll be honest, man. Like as far as acting goes, like you said, Schwarzenegger is like, you kind of watch him, peaks and valleys. And probably one of my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, no joke, as far as acting, was probably Kindergarten Cop. Like he was just funny with those kids, man, and just picking the kid up, he's like, "Stop it!" Like it's just like sometimes
The
it's
movie
just kids
sets.
and dogs. They bring the best out of us.
Oh, yeah, man. There's a reason I still watch Turner and Hooch and Canine. Um, if you guys haven't checked those out, go watch them.
There you go.
Great 80s trash movies. They're fantastic, man. Heartfelt dog movies are great. But yeah, I mean that's my recommendation of the week, man. And I would tell you if you guys don't think Schwarzenegger can act, if you don't like this film, give me one more hit and go check out Sabotage because he's got some fucking depth in that film, and that film will make you a fan.
Yeah, he did another one. I can't remember the name of it, forgive me. But it's like he played a father who's like I think his daughter or something was killed in a plane crash. And
Aftermath.
Aftermath.
Yep.
That I'll be honest with you, I was shocked. I'm like,
There's a
wow, man. It was all acting. There was no
yep.
action. It's not an action film. You felt his pain as a father, I think a grandfather or something. Like it was really well done. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
I just never anticipated that from Arnold Schwarzenegger. So
He just
he
never
does
got roles
have
like
have a
that.
little bit of range. Yeah,
Yeah.
he does have some range. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Aftermath.
Takes
Yep.
guts to make Junior. Ugh. That's what I got for tonight, though. So take it for what it's worth.
There you go, brother. All right, good people, man. Thanks for joining us, man. Remember, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. If you haven't seen it, like 28 years later, Bone Temple, check it out. Come back and let us know what you guys think. Until next time, your boy Thick Nick Fury out here.
Bad Broken Rambo out here. Be good to each other, guys.
Nice.